Hey, Skull Nation. What's up, you purple-blooded warriors? Can you believe we're staring down Week 10 like it's some kind of NFL warp speed dream? I'm your die-hard Vikings fanatic, the guy who's been screaming at my TV since the days of Randy Moss torching secondaries. And today on Notícias dos Vikings News, we're diving headfirst into the heart-pounding pulse of our beloved team. Buckle up, because if the trade deadline didn't jolt you awake, this mid-season madness will. Half the 2025 season's already vanished, and with J.J. McCarthy slinging dimes again, the playoffs aren't just a whisper. They're a roar waiting to happen. Stick with me, fam, because what if I told you our young gunslingers got the NFC North shaking, and a Hall of Fame Viking legend is trading sacks for stones on the ice? You won't believe how this all ties back to purple pride. Let's charge into it. Forget the calendar screaming November already. That sneaky 60-degree tease in the Twin Cities this week had me ditching the parka for a hoodie, pretending winter's just a bad dream. But here's the real gut punch. We've blasted through half of 2025's slate, hitting Week 10 with the kind of velocity that makes your head spin. Blame it on that wild front-end schedule, 3 primetime showdowns under the lights, plus 2 overseas jaunts to different countries that felt like teleporting to another dimension. It all blurred by in a haze of jet lag and adrenaline, leaving us gasping. And now, a string of good old noon kickoffs on Sundays back home at US Bank Stadium. Finally, some rhythm to slow the clock and let us savor every snap. But hold up, Vikings faithful. Does that overseas chaos explain why time's flying? Or is it just our hearts racing toward glory? Drop in the comments. What's been your favorite memory from those international battles? As we catch our breath, ESPN's mid-season deep dive drops truth bombs on our 4-4 squad. And trust me, it's fuel for the fire we'll need against the snow that's lurking. The division's a dogfight, every team's at .500 or better, the only one like it in the league, and with McCarthy healthy, we're primed to pounce. What's your take on that schedule slowdown? Will it steady our ship or just build more hype for the stretch run? The trade deadline's dust has barely settled, underscoring we're smack in the NFL's do-or-die November grind, where contenders separate from pretenders. For us Vikings, it's a mirror reflecting resilience amid the chaos. 4-4 feels like a launch pad, not a ledge, especially with the NFC North wide open like a Jefferson deep ball. ESPN's Kevin Seifert nailed it in their team-by-team breakdown. Our definitive first-half saga was dodging an injury avalanche that could have buried us. High ankle sprain sidelines JJ for 5 games? Check. Roster-wide hits dropping us to 4th in the division? Brutal reality. But here's the spark. McCarthy's back. 2-1 lifetime with road W's over Chicago and Detroit, and those 9 games ahead? Pure runway for his growth, signaling if Minnesota's future is now or later. Injuries tested our depth like a brutal fourth-quarter drive, but they couldn't break our spirit. McCarthy's absence forced backups to grind, keeping us afloat in that .500 division scrum. Remember, Skull Nation, every NFC North foe's hovering at even or better. It's a 4-way brawl for the crown, and our Purple Warriors are right in the mix. Seifert highlights how McCarthy's accounted for every touchdown in his starts. Running or throwing, he's the spark plug igniting the offense. Those big divisional road triumphs? Confidence builders that scream potential. Yet, growing pains hit young QBs hard. He's clocking 3.12 seconds to throw, third longest among starters with 5+ tries, patience or peril. What do you think, fans? Does that extra hang time unlock magic or invite sacks? Tease this, Vikings diehards. If McCarthy's turning pain into precision, how does his return flip the script on our playoff chase? ESPN pegs our odds at 11.9% to punch a postseason ticket, and a measly 3.1% to snag the division over Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago. But those numbers? They're begging to be defied. Check the full ESPN mid-season report for all 32 teams. It's a roadmap to redemption. As we transition from gridiron grit to icy intrigue, picture this. Our Hall of Fame sack king Jared Allen, fresh off his induction parade, swapping cleats for brooms. But first, hit me with your bold prediction. Can JJ lead us to 8-4 by December? Your voice in the comments fuels the fire. Zooming into McCarthy's command center, because if you're not geeking out over next-gen stats, you're missing the blueprint to brilliance. In Week 9's gritty return against Detroit, our 22-year-old phenom went 14 of 25 for 143 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 pick, 56% completion on the surface, but peel back the layers, and it's a plus 4.9% completion percentage over expected. That's leaps from his debuts minus 1.7% and Week 2's dash 7.1%. Blame it on that high ankle tweak messing with his lower body mechanics. Now, fully synced, he's zipping passes with the poise of a vet, turning what if into watch out. Seifert calls it improved base equals accuracy on steroids, and with wins at Chicago and Detroit under his belt, direction for 2026 starts here. Those growing pains, they're the tuition for stardom. Every young QB's rite of passage, from holding the ball a tick too long to reading blitzes like a chess master. McCarthy's not immune. That 3.12-second average invites pressure, but it's breeding smarts that'll pay dividends. Layer in his dual-threat magic. Every Vikings TD in his starts traces back to his arm or legs, a stat that screams franchise cornerstone. And post-injury, that Lions upset wasn't luck. It was McCarthy owning the moment, blue-collar grit straight out of his Michigan playbook. Skol fans, does this evolution get your blood pumping? Or are you still sweating the sophomore slumps? Share below. We're in this rebuild together. But wait, there's more juice. McCarthy's not just surviving. He's syncing with our weapons like a well-oiled machine. Picture this electric rapport with Justin Jefferson. 6 grabs on 9 targets for 47 yards and a score, and Jordan Addison hauling in 2 of 4 for 48 yards, including a 31-yard dagger. It's the chemistry we craved, especially since Minnesota boasts the league's softest remaining slate for fantasy WRs. Eric Moody from ESPN drops the nugget. When the chips are down, JJ elevates, turning needs into touchdowns. With that favorable schedule, expect fireworks. Jefferson feasting, Addison streaking, and McCarthy conducting the symphony. What's your fantasy lineup looking like with these studs? Hit the comments. Let's build lineups and dreams. Shifting gears from the huddle to the hack, because Vikings lore isn't just about Sunday heroes. It's legends like Jared Allen keeping the flame alive in the wildest ways. 2 months back, our Pro Football Hall of Fame beast number 69 roared into US Bank Stadium halftime on a motorcycle, capping his induction as the 380th Eternal Great with calf-roping flair that had the crowd erupting. From sacking QBs to curling stones? It's the ultimate plot twist, and this week, Allen's making his grand slam of curling debut at the Coyote GSOC Tahoe in State Line, Nevada, right in his Tahoe backyard. Lost his opener 10-9 in a shootout to world number 5 Ross White. But man, the drama was pure Vikings vintage. Down but never out. Allen's squad faced no warm-up act, diving straight into the deep end against White Scots. Yet after the first end, it felt like the NFL legend was scripting a comeback. As a lifelong defensive end, Jared flipped the script into an offensive shootout, clawing points like he used to strip balls. Nabbed the lead with 1 in the 5th, only for White to counter with a rare four-ender. Surging 3 ahead with 2 ends left, heart-stopping stuff that'd make any Skol chant echo. Then, true to form, Allen pounced like a quarterback hunter, slamming 3 in the 8th to knot it up. Shootout heartbreak. But that fire is why he's a Hall of Famer. Fans, ever watched curling? Does Jared's grit translate, or is this his craziest post-career quest yet? Day 2 brought a tougher pill. An 11-1 drubbing by Sweden's Niklas Eden, the 7-time world champ and curling's next hall-bound icon. No shame there, Eden's a machine, but it underscores the elite ice Allen's skating on. Teamed with Olympic gold medalist John Morris and U.S. champ Jason Smith, plus sponsor exemption magic, Jared's turning Tahoe into curling's new frontier, the first Grand Slam stateside, backed by his local ties. From epic curling club summers to pitching this event, it's purple passion on ice. Skol Nation, what's wilder? Allen's motorcycle induction or brooming for glory? Spill your thoughts below. This legend's living larger than life. Flashback to the origin story that hooks you deeper than an Allen spin move. 7 years ago, late in his 12-year NFL grind, Jared's on an Arizona golf course, wagering with a buddy. Bet I can pick up a sport and go Olympian. Curling it is born from that daredevil spark. Fast forward. He assembles a squad of retired gridiron greats, Mark Bulger, Keith Bullock, Michael Roos, for the Kurt Mesabi Classic on the World Curling Tour. Forbes dives into it. Some football DNA transfers over like that explosive burst for the stone or reading angles like a blitz package. It's not sacks and celebrations, but the strategy? Pure cerebral rush. That bet wasn't just talk. It ignited a 6-year obsession, pausing only last season, now exploding at Tahoe with Olympians in his corner. Allen's told tales of falling hard, precision over power, patience over panic, mirroring his D dominance but on frozen silk. With Tahoe's backdrop, from Bay Area roots to family summers at the lake, he's not just competing. He's elevating the sport, drawing NFL eyes like Kittle and Hawkinson into the curling circle. Vikings fans, imagine Jared Olympic-bound. What skills from football seal the deal? Your hot takes and comments could inspire his next sweep. As the Tahoe ice thaws our midseason blues, let's circle back to the big picture. Playoffs at 11.9%, division at 3.1%, odds that scream underdog, but we bleed purple defiance. ESPN's report isn't a eulogy. It's a battle cry, with McCarthy's metrics climbing and Allen's antics reminding us legends evolve. The NFC North's parity? Our playground, with every team .500 plus, and that soft schedule ahead, is tailor-made for JJ to stack wins, Jefferson to dominate, and Addison to shine. But here's the suspense. Can we surge past the Packers, Lions, and Bears, turning 4-4 into a storybook run? Or does winter's bite stall us? You've got the pulse. What's our ceiling this stretch? Those injury scars from the first half? Battle wounds that toughened us. From McCarthy's 5-game exile to roster-wide hits that tested Kwesi's free agency splurge. Nearly $350 million to fortify around our rookie QB. Now, with JJ back and blue-collar mindset roaring, shout out to that Michigan throwback shirt in Detroit. The 27-24 Lions upset proves we're built for this. Contact rate at 32.3% early, fixed with mechanics tweaks, boosting CPOE to plus 4.9%. It's not overnight magic, but steady stacks toward stability. Skull Warriors, does this feel like 2017's Magic Brewing or 2022's Heartbreak Redux? Weigh in. Your optimism keeps the faith alive. And looping in the fantasy angle, because who isn't drafting purple in their league? Moody's gem. McCarthy's clutch gene, syncing with JJ and Jordan on that easiest WR schedule, spells boom weeks ahead. 6 catches for Jefferson's TD jaunt, Addison's 31-yard sizzle. It's the rapport that crushes doubts from his injury fog. 11.9% playoffs? Laughable when our QB's turning growing pains into gains. As Allen curls toward new horizons, we're reminded. Vikings aren't done. We're just heating up. What's your must-win game left on the slate? Comments section. Let's map the path to glory. Wrapping this purple whirlwind, Skull Nation. Because if midseason's teaching us anything, it's that resilience is our superpower. From McCarthy's triumphant return to Allen's icy reinvention. We've navigated injuries, international intrigue, and a deadline dud to sit 4-4 in the league's hottest division, with odds stacked but spirits sky high. JJ's every TD fingerprint, that plus 4.9 CPOE surge, the WR dream schedule, it's all pointing to a second-half surge that could rewrite 2025. And Jared? From Hall enshrinement motorcycle roars to Tahoe shootout thrillers against White and Eden. He's the ultimate Vikings icon, betting big and delivering grit. Halfway there, fam, the rear view's crowded, but the horizon's ours. One last hype. Envision McCarthy capping a drive with another rushing score, Jefferson one-handing miracles, while Allen sweeps his way to curling lore. That's Vikings DNA, unyielding and electric. ESPN's full breakdown's your homework. Dive in and dream big. But tell me, diehards, biggest surprise of the half, JJ's poise or Jared's brooms? Wildest prediction for the back nine? Flood those comments. Your passion powers this channel. Alright, Purple Pride, before you bolt, smash that like if McCarthy's got you believing again. Drop a comment with your Allen curling hot take. Subscribe for every Notícias dos Vikings news drop so you never miss the heartbeat. And share this with your fellow Skull mates who need that mid-season motivation. We're building a dynasty one roar at a time. Go Vikings, and until next time, keep the faith fierce. Skol.